Hey guys, it's Krista. We are going to take a super quick tour around downtown Morgan Hill. I'm going to show you some of my favorite spots, so let's go check it out. So Running Shop and Hops is one of my favorite spots, and it's actually a tap room now, but it started out as a running shop. So it literally was where you would go and buy running shoes and running goods. The owner at the time used to do keg runs. So everyone would get together and do a run around the city and then go back to the running shop and grab a beer. Over time, their dream was to open an actual tap room. So they opened this spot, which is now owned by new people, but it still has the same essence. They removed the running aspect completely from it, but it's kind of cool. So it still has the history of the running shop, but now it's just a tap room. And there's like always people here. If you look around, all the old taps that they've had, they put up, and then they have a game room over here, which is really cool. And they just put in skee ball. It's so cool. Here's like all the different race medals and things as well. Like there's still a little bit of a nod to the running shop concept, but they don't sell any running stuff anymore. And it's family friendly here. Like you can bring your kids, like people just bring their kids and they run around outside and play cornhole. It's a really fun environment. It's such a different vibe here than it used to be. When we moved here 12 years ago, like none of this existed. It felt like a much smaller town. Now it's been much more developed downtown. More people are coming in wanting this kind of stuff, like the tap rooms. Wine rooms don't really stick around here for whatever reason. We still have a lot of wineries, but the actual wine rooms that they've tried just don't work. But coffee shop, beer, like tap room style, and then restaurants. Those things always do really, really well downtown. But none of this existed when I moved here. So it's evolved almost 13 years that I've been here. My favorite right now is the Spencer's Orange Latte, and he just put that on the menu like a few weeks ago, and I was one of his guinea pigs. It's like a honey orange. They make all of the syrup in-house, so it's like this perfect balanced drink. Tropical mango matcha is super, super good. And that's like good on a day like this where it's kind of warm and you just want something iced and yummy and sparkly. And they pull in a lot of local coffees for all of their brews. So you can actually buy the beans as well. It's just a really cool way to bring in the local stuff. All of this is an edible garden, so it's private orchard. A lot of this is brought in for ODM for their restaurant. They pull things from the orchard and then they use them as farm to table. This is actually the train tracks right here. So everything over here is like related to the train depot, and they have a huge train park, which was a really, really big deal when it came in because my kids were at the age where we wanted more parks and especially contained ones. Being able to have a fully contained park is like a dream. Actually, change that. A fully contained park with bathrooms is a dream for a parent in Morgan Hill. So there's a tower right by the train track. And so if you hear a train coming and there's kids at that park, every single one of those children will run up to that tower so they can see the train go by. It's so cute. This is where Hannah and I walk every single weekend. We come here for the farmer's market. This whole parking lot is closed on Saturdays. And here is Morgan Hill, according to my children. I don't actually know if this is, oh yeah, they would request the train stop at Morgan Hill's ranch. This is people waiting for the train. This was a very common train stop. Morgan Hill was a very prominent man in Morgan Hill history. So, fun fact, Morgan Hill is not a literal hill. It's actually a person that was a founder of this area. Morgan owned most of the land here and had it as a ranch. And so this was a train stop in California. So people would stop at this train location and go visit Morgan Hill's ranch. Not a hill. It is not that hill. We're going to one of my favorite restaurants, Mohai Farm. Mohai Farm is a restaurant and also quick serve. So they have like a quick serve coffee bar. You can grab pastries, things like that. So when my daughter and I come down here for farmers market, we usually will grab a cup of coffee and she'll grab something special and then we'll walk the farmers market. And look, they have some of their actual farm goods here as well. You need a little half gallon of milk? We got you. We missed happy hour because we're not drinking. Kelly Brewing Company. They brew all of their own beer. So it's not like the other tap room, Reading Shop and Hops. This is like they do everything in-house and it's their own brewery. And they have so much fun stuff that they do there. Like they go crazy for St. Patrick's Day. They always have a rotating food truck. You get different food and you can just sit there for like hours and drink beer. It's kind of the lifestyle here. And I am going to draw your attention to our giant spider. Yeah. There it is. It's an art installation. It's made out of headlights. We have a lot of tarantulas, not like in the city, kind of in the rural areas, but there's a tarantula season in October. And so they all have little babies. And so if you go kind of off grid a little bit, you will see a bunch of tarantulas. And they're very docile. They don't really bother you. We used to have a tarantula festival. I don't think we do that anymore. Craft Roots, this is my favorite vegan restaurant and one of my favorite restaurants, not even just vegan. They are amazing. Right next door is a barbecue restaurant. So they kind of took the idea of like bar food, barbecue, and made it vegan, which is really, really fun. I love that restaurant. Cauliflower bite, the best thing. So this building over here that's in the scaffolding, this is actually Morgan Hill's first green and sustainable project, which I think is really interesting. It's going to be an art gallery. They talked about having a wine bar in there too. Not sure for sure if it's still gonna happen, but it's going to be one of the most beautiful buildings in Morgan Hill. I'm really excited to see it. Granada Theater has a lot of history, which I can't tell you anything about, but it is a very old theater. You can see as you kind of look at it, like this is fully a theater style building. So right now it's nothing. For the entire time of COVID, basically, they turned the scaffolding and the building into a restaurant. So it was all concrete and basically an unfinished construction project. And they had an entire restaurant built into the bottom for the past, I think it was about 4 years that they had it because the construction was put on hold. It was a really, really cool way to actually have a restaurant. It was owned by the same Mohai Farm. Granada is also owned by them. So they're refurbishing this entire theater and turning it into a boutique hotel and a flower shop and all. I thought we were going to die. Anyway, so I don't know the history of this, but it's been here for a long time. And Frank Leal owns this property and Mohai Farm, and they're turning this into a really, really beautiful area. And they just put in the scaffolding, but before that, it was literally just concrete structure and you would just eat at the bottom. And all of these were little tables that they had set up. It was a really cool way to turn it into something and make it social. So it was called Mohai Social. Mohai is short for Morgan Hill. And this is the flower cottage. I can't tell you anything about it, but it says it's the flower cottage. And that is a tree.
Pretty tree.
No. No, it is pretty right now though. Thank you so much for coming along with me on this tour of downtown Morgan Hill. I would love for you to let me know the next places that I should go visit in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe. See you later. Hi.
You got a whole crew.
You know, I'm pro now. I'm kind of a big deal.
Bush League.
See you later. This is Morgan Hill. Like, just like, oh, hey.